Namaste, it's Aumrie in Los Angeles, and I want to talk to you today about brewing vessels. Now, when you are preparing your tea every day, you'll have to decide how exactly will you brew the water and steep the tea. And so I want to show you a number of vessels or tools that you can use to accentuate your tea preparation practice. Now, for formal sits and for more ceremonial sits, I'll use this Arabic ewer for presentation of water. So that means that this isn't something that I would use to boil the water in, and it's something that I would use perhaps to steep tea or to already prepare tea and then put it in here and use this for just ceremonial presentation purposes, mainly because of the aesthetics of it. I mean, look at it. It's elegant. It looks phenomenal. It's beautiful. It's very sleek. And so something to consider is what the actual tea brewing vessel looks like. If it's for ceremonial purposes, if it's for a party, perhaps you would want to use something like this in order to serve, right? Maybe not, it's not so functional for brewing, right? You're not going to put this on an open flame. It doesn't have a component to naturally heat it, and it doesn't have a strainer built into it in order to knock out the leaves. So it's probably best to just use this, something like this, for ceremonial serving purposes of tea. But it's an excellent example of an item that you can use. Now, for daily brewing and at home, when I'm getting up in the morning or when I come home for a late night, I use this electric kettle. Now, one reason that I love this electric kettle is because I don't have to turn on the stove. I don't have to, go fiddle around with trying to heat it up. It's so simple, right? All I have to do is to press this one lever in the back, boom, and it plugs right in and it starts heating. Now, this electric kettle, it has a built-in thermometer that has an analog readout right here at the top. So I can see how hot the water is and I know exactly when to turn it off. Now, as you know, different leaves, they prefer different water temperatures. And so this is very useful. Now, there are a number of electric kettles that have automatic, fully automatic thermometer readouts, and you can set it to stop at a certain temperature. So those are also useful. But one reason that I really like this one is, one, the design of it, but two, look at this elongated gooseneck spout. This is key for controlled pours. Now, when you're pouring into your cups and you're pouring into smaller pitchers, you don't want it just spilling everywhere. You want it to have this nice, gentle flow. And so when I do these controlled pours, this is perfect for that. And so that's why I really like this electric kettle for my go-to practice for my day-to-day teaware and tea preparation. The next item that I use is this glass pitcher. I use this at work. Now, I want to minimize the amount of mess that I have at work, right? I don't have all the tools and accoutrements that I have here at home when I practice at work. But this glass kettle is perfect because, one, it has a built-in strainer, right? So I can just put the tea leaves inside and the strainer, it captures most of the leaves. Now, there's still some slight leaves that flow through that the strainer doesn't catch, but it's okay. It's manageable and it looks really nice, right? Another thing is that it's glass, it's see-through, it's tempered glass. So when the leaves are expanding, while you can't see the exact temperature of the water, you can see them expand. And sometimes when I'm having a stressful day at the office or things aren't going quite right, just looking at the visual of the tea leaves unfurling and expanding, it's very soothing. And when people stop by, they're like, oh, that's so cool, right? And it calls them to a place of like wanting to participate in tea. So I use this perhaps as my go-to style for office tea. And usually in the office, they have at the coffee pot, it has just a water spout so you can get some water, or if you have one of those arrowhead kind of water delivery systems where there's a heated water, I'll just pour that in. So I'm not really focused on the temperature there. I'm just need some hot or warm water in order to brew my leaves. Another option is a ceramic teapot, right? Ceramic teapot. Once again, this is good in an office setting, and in an office setting where you're not going to be using loose leaf tea necessarily, where you may be just utilizing bagged or packaged teas. This is perfect for that because you can just take it, pop it in there, and steep and share with, you know, other coworkers or other people, guests who are in the office. And so this one I actually like for the design for office settings. It's really sleek, it's really sophisticated, and it has this wonderful ceramic porcelain feel. So I like that. So this is a Japanese style tetsuya, and it is cast iron, and this is what you use on an open flame. So if you were going outdoors or you were going camping, you could use this over an open flame and it would be perfectly fine. And so one of the reasons that I do use this is that it is heavy duty, right? It is heavy duty. But for daily use, it may not be as filled with ease as using this electric kettle, but there is something that is appealing about this traditional way of brewing tea and using this cast iron method to just be over an open flame and hearing it and hearing the water boil and hearing the fire crackle all around. It's very, very useful that way. And usually these are hung over an open flame as the water boils. It's something really beautiful about that. And some people also use them over with those small propane kind of flames as well. That's also another way to do it. Another way to brew your tea is using this traditional Chinese method. This is called a gaiwan, and it is composed of a lid, a cup, and a saucer. Sometimes the saucer isn't included, but traditionally these are the three components of a gaiwan. And how you use a gaiwan is that you place your leaves inside, you place your water inside, put the lid on, you let it boil, and then once it's ready, you just move your lid back just slightly so that it acts as its own strainer as you're pouring the water out, but holding the leaves back. You could either do it like this, or you can, oops, sorry about that. You just move it back just slightly, and you can drink from it directly from the gaiwan. So those are two ways of using the gaiwan to brew your tea as well. And the final method that I want to share with you is using this Yixing style teapot. And this is perhaps what's used in most of these ceremonial formats. It's a small teapot that's used for maybe 1 or 2 cups, right? It's for almost like personal brewing. And so you put your leaves in and you put your water in, and inside there's a built-in strainer which naturally holds back most of the leaves. Now some debris gets through, but by and large part, most of the leaves are held back and the water flows through. And it is a perfect way to kind of pour from your electric kettle into this teapot and then into your cup. Absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. And so I love this Yixing style teapot. And so when you're thinking about preparation of your next brew, consider some of these options, whether it's using the I Ching style teapot, the gaiwan, the ketsuya, the porcelain teapot, the glass teapot, the electric kettle, or this Arabic style UR. All of these are wonderful ways to help accentuate your preparation of tea. Until next time, enjoy your tea practice. Namaste.